The stadium, slated to host the most matches during the 2026 FIFA World Cup, features a retractable roof that weighs as much as 20 Boeing 737 commercial jets. Back in 2006, when construction kicked off, the engineering team was tasked with building a massive 1,500-ton roof that could open and close on demand, all perched on a structure with absolutely no walls or pillars. At the time, it was one of the largest and most ambitious stadium projects in the world, featuring among the longest unsupported steel arches ever built. But there was a massive catch. These arches were curved at a 30-degree angle. Sliding a roof of that magnitude up such an incline seemed physically impossible, like trying to drag the weight of 20 airplanes up a steep hill. Dozens of engineers were brought in, and countless ideas were tested, but every experiment failed. Ultimately, the winning solution came from an invention created 150 years earlier by an inventor who wasn't a professional engineer. Welcome back to another video on Pass TV. Here is the incredible story of the ultimate modern marvel, AT&T Stadium, the undisputed favorite venue for the 2026 FIFA World Cup is AT&T Stadium, located in Arlington, Texas. Spanning a jaw-dropping 3 million square feet, this monumental arena offers a standard seating capacity of 80,000. Its interior volume is a staggering 106 million cubic feet, 3 million cubic meters, meaning you could fit the entire Great Pyramid of Giza inside and still have room for thousands of fans to take a seat. As for its height, you could stand the Statue of Liberty on the 50-yard line, and her torch wouldn't even scrape the ceiling. When you look at the stadium and its insane specs, it's hard to wrap your head around how it was even built. Two 1,400-foot-long arches with zero pillar support, a 1,500-ton retractable roof, a massive central air conditioning system, 2 sliding glass doors, each the height of a 1-2-story building. All of these challenges began in 2006 when the NFL's Dallas Cowboys needed a new home. The team's ownership didn't just want a venue for 8 to 10 home football games a year. They wanted a cash cow that could host mega events year-round. But Texas weather is notoriously extreme, battering winter storms on one end and scorching, relentless summer heat on the other. A year-round stadium meant it had to be completely indoors and heavily climate-controlled. Normally, putting a roof over a structure requires load-bearing pillars, but in a stadium, pillars create blind spots, ruining the viewing experience for fans. This was the first major hurdle for head architect Brian Truby, marking one of the toughest challenges of his career. Truby had to design a completely pillar-free roof. But it wasn't just about holding up a 1,500-ton retractable roof. It also had to support what was then the heaviest center-hung LED screen in the world. Weighing in at 1.3 million pounds, approx. 600,000 kilograms. Combined, the total weight hanging over the field would be roughly 2,100 tons. The answer to this modern engineering nightmare was hidden in a forgotten structure from history. In 1875, engineers were laying a railway line in Portugal, but hit a roadblock at the Douro River. The river was over 550 feet wide, 65 feet deep, and had roaring rapids, meaning no pillars could be built in the water. They brought in legendary French engineer Gustave Eiffel. Yes, the Eiffel Tower guy. Eiffel designed a parabolic arch to bridge the banks without needing a single pillar. The secret to his arch wasn't just its shape, but its internal structure, a network of small, interconnected triangles. In engineering, this is called a truss system. Triangles are uniquely strong. Under immense pressure, a triangle will eventually break, but it will never deform or change its shape. This exact truss system was scaled up to massive proportions for AT&T Stadium. The engineers built two 1,400-foot arches that were 14 feet thick and 35 feet deep. The entire weight was transferred to 4 colossal concrete abutments located a quarter-mile apart. Each abutment required as much concrete as you'd need to build 200 average-sized American homes. Because the steel arches would naturally expand in the blistering Texas heat, which could literally crack the concrete, they installed heavy-duty expansion joints to let the stadium breathe. 8 months later, the pillar-free open-air roof was ready. In the center, they left an iconic rectangular opening, a nostalgic nod to Texas Stadium, the Cowboys' old home. But this new hole needed a retractable roof to keep out the wild Texas weather. This turned out to be an unprecedented nightmare. The retractable roof panels weighed 10 times more than a blue whale. Moving them up a steep, 30-degree arched incline meant fighting massive gravitational forces. If they simply let the roof slide open, gravity would take over. Pulling it back up would be like lifting 10 blue whales straight into the air. First, they split the roof panels into 2 equal halves to balance the weight on both sides of the truss. But how to move them? If they used heavy-duty winches, they'd have to add 3,000 tons of extra equipment just to lift the 1,500-ton roof. Furthermore, if the winches didn't pull at the exact same speed, the truss would lose its balance, leading to a catastrophic collapse. And if a steel cable snapped, total disaster. Once again, the team looked 150 years into the past. In the 19th century, a meatpacking businessman named Sylvester Marsh loved hiking Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Because the climb was too grueling for most tourists, Marsh invented a special railway track in 1869 to conquer the steep incline. Known as the Cog Railway, it placed a toothed track, the rack, in the center of the rails, and a geared wheel, the pinion, underneath the train. This allowed the train to climb steep hills without slipping. To prevent it from rolling backward, a lock was installed on the pinion, allowing it to turn in only one direction. If you've ever ridden a roller coaster and heard that clanking hammer sound on the way up, that's the same locking mechanism. This genius rack and pinion system was the exact technology chosen for AT&T Stadium. The rails you see on top of the stadium are the racks. To power the system, they installed 130 motors, each packing 7.5 horsepower. These motors drive the pinions to close the roof and act as heavy-duty brakes when opening it. Because the gear sizes are fixed, both panels open at the exact same speed, keeping the weight perfectly balanced. Today, the roof can seamlessly open or close in just 12 minutes. Cooling an enclosed volume of 106 million cubic feet is no small feat. It's like trying to air condition tens of thousands of hotel rooms all at once. While a standard home AC unit is about 2 to 4 tons, AT&T Stadium runs on a monstrous 11,000-ton chiller system. The ductwork alone is 6 feet wide. Relying on the basic laws of physics that cold air sinks and hot air rises, the massive ducts blast cold air from the ceiling, letting it naturally fall over the crowd and onto the field. The lighter, warm air rises into the empty space near the roof, where it's sucked up and recycled. To give fans the ultimate viewing experience, the stadium was equipped with a mind-blowing 1.3 million-pound Jumbotron. Packed with over 10 million LEDs, the 1-0-story tall screen hangs 160 feet above the turf. The total surface area of the screens is equivalent to a 3,000 square yard lot, ensuring there isn't a bad seat in the house. Even the entrances are larger than life. The stadium features 2 massive, 1-2-story, high insulated sliding glass doors, pieced together from smaller panels. Each massive door assembly weighs around 190,000 pounds, 86,000 kilograms, and also relies on the trusty rack and pinion system to operate, taking about 18 minutes to fully open or close. AT&T Stadium was originally built with an artificial turf surface on top of concrete, making it easy to swap out the field for concerts, rodeos, and basketball games. But with the FIFA World Cup arriving in 2026, the stadium management has a massive new challenge on their hands. Under strict FIFA regulations, all World Cup soccer matches must be played on natural grass, not artificial turf. To meet this demand, the Dallas Cowboys organization set aside a massive budget for stadium modifications. But how do you grow real grass on a concrete floor in a stadium where the roof doesn't open wide enough to let in full sunlight? First, they are raising the entire field by 6 inches. They've engineered a highly specialized drainage system right on top of the concrete. To make up for the lack of sunshine, they will deploy industrial-scale artificial grow lights. The actual grass won't be grown inside the stadium. Instead, it is being cultivated on a specialized farm in Colorado. Right before the games begin, the turf will be harvested, loaded into a fleet of refrigerated 1/8-wheelers, and installed directly into the stadium. To maximize the event's scale, the standard 80,000-seat capacity is also being expanded to pack in up to 94,000 roaring fans. AT&T Stadium is set to host a total of 9 matches for the 2026 World Cup, kicking things off on June 14 and hosting a blockbuster semifinal on July 14. Once the soccer world packs up and goes home, the natural grass will be removed, and the stadium's artificial turf will be reinstalled for the Dallas Cowboys season. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's greatest architectural triumphs. Be sure to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks for the love, and we'll see you in the next spectacular video right here on Past